Hi, this is Dylan Murphy from Navitome, and in this video I'm going to give you a quick introduction to the Navitome interface. So when you log into Navitome in any user role, you land on the dashboard. And the dashboard, as you see here, is a way to quickly access commonly used features and functions, or notifications, communications, or documents that you've been working on. But otherwise, you're going to be diving into these more specific sections on the left-hand side. And right now, I'm actually an account owner, so I have access to everything here. You may or may not see some of these things on the left. If I click on authoring, the authoring section, this is where authors spend all their time. This section is all about creating content in Navitome. So first, authors create an authoring project, and if I launch into that authoring project, they can add authors to it, they can add documents to create, they can launch into discussions around the work that they're doing in this project. So this author section is all about creating content in Navitome before you're ready to share it and publish it. The next section is the review section. This is where people who have been asked to review content in Navitome that hasn't necessarily been published yet, this is where they come in and see everything they've been asked to review. So if I'm a reviewer and authors have added me to Navidocs to review, I would see the work that I have to do here to review, and when I'm done, I'd mark it reviewed and they would get notified. The next section is the build and share section, and this section is all about sharing and publishing content in Navitome. So the content's already been authored by an author in the authoring section, and now someone wants to share it publicly or share it privately with other end users. So they do that by creating a new build, and they select the way that they want to share it, which is the build type, and then they add content to it and add their users from there. So this build and share section is all about taking authored content and publishing it and share it with other end users. The analytics section, this is where you dive into looking at the data we've gathered on guides. So I can see I've got a bunch of Navidocs here. If I click on the first one, I'll launch into the analytics for that document, and I can explore individual walkthroughs or the analytics rolled up for all the activity on that. The My Guides section is where you work with guides as a reader, as an end user. So if you're an author and you're sharing guides with customers publicly or privately, this is where they'd create new guides and manage the content that's been shared with them. So you can see it's broken down into three sections. My Guides, in the My Guides section, I actually launch new guides from what's available to me. In the shared projects, this is where people have shared private content with me and we work on these together. And then shared guides, this is where an end user creates a guide and then adds me and we collaborate on this together. All right? So this is something that can be done by two end users. Shared projects need to be done by people within the company, and there'll be more on that in a future video. Communication, this is where we roll up all of the comments that people have in your guides, messages for projects, and then direct messages between users. So in Navitome, we make it really easy to work around content by allowing you to communicate in a few different ways. We roll all that up here in the communication section. All right, so you can see here's a message from Dylan, and he's saying, hey, let's get started on this project. The people section is where I see and manage all my people as an administrator. And I can add other users here. I can update their roles. If I click on a user, I can see what they've been up to. I can send them a message. I can remove them. And finally, the account settings area is where, as an account owner, I update all of the settings for the account. All right, so I've got my details here on who the support contact is, public dashboard, reports. These are more in-depth analytic reports that I can download. Style, this is mostly about white labeling the account. And configuration, this is for configuring account level things like tracking codes or how emails get sent out when they're introduced to the account, things like that. So that was a quick overview of the interface in Navitome, and in future videos we're going to dive into working more in these spaces. Thanks a lot.